Hi, welcome to What I Like Show. I'm Marty, and today I'm going to review the film Twister, which came out in 1996. Let me pull that up on Wikipedia here. It's directed by Jan DeBont, from a screenplay by Michael Crichton and Anna Marie Martin. Its two executive producers were Steven Spielberg, Walter Parks, Laurie MacDonald. Its executive producers. And it stars Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. Jamie Gertz is in this. Carrie Elwes. What was Home Slice's name? Forgetting your name, Home Slice. Alan Ruck is in this. Philip Seymour Hoffman has a small role in this. It's like early film. It's 1996, so it's comparatively early everybody, but before Philip Seymour Hoffman got really big. And then there's a bunch of other actors in this who've had various degrees of success. Let me see. I'm not going to remember their names, but Zach Grenier, who's been in a bunch of stuff like Fight Club. The guy who plays Upham in Saving Private Ryan, he's in this. Got a small role, just a bunch of people. Jake Busey. And so what you have is Bill Paxton was part of a crew of storm chasers and was married to Helen Hunt. When the film begins, he's with his fiancee, he's about to get married to Jamie Gertz's character, who's really attractive lady, and he's going to where the storm chaser crew he used to be a part of is, observing storms, hoping for a tornado because they're not storm chasers, they're tornado watchers. And he wants her to sign the paperwork to formalize a divorce so he can get remarried. And then I actually thought that the first so many minutes is kind of clever because once he gets there, like, he gets all excited about tornado chasing again. And they were working on I guess you could technically call it a machine, but a device with a bunch of little balls, a bunch of little sensors that you place in front of the tornado. And the tornado comes through. Hundreds of these little sensors get pulled up into the tornado, and you can get readouts and learn about the inner structure of a tornado. And if you can do that, you can better predict tornadoes and save lives, is the idea. And that's all clever. I liked all of that. The first 20 minutes of this film I enjoyed. I thought it's very written in a very concise way. The first act, bing, bang, boom. You get the information you need. You're up and going. Jamie Gertz, Bill Paxton brings along his fiance to get the paperwork signed. That's all just so you have a fish out of water character, which is Jamie Gertz. And then you have Bill Paxton, Helen Hunt, Jamie Gertz is there, and then 6 or 7 various storm chasing weirdo types with different eccentric personalities. Philip Seymour Hoffman is, a bit crazy, but they all know their jobs. They're all smart people who know about tornadoes. There's anything where I think is like, mixed feelings about it, where there's it's so Hollywood. It's like, so the first 10-15 minutes, here's this humble group of poorly funded but well-meaning go get 'em, the little train that could do it, huzzah. And then there's the villain tornado chasers. How the hell do you how do you create storm chasers and tornado watchers have the bad guys? It's just like Mighty Ducks. And so it's a bunch of more, for the most part, like, broader shouldered guys. And it's led by Carrie Elwes, who's got a pretty decent American accent. And he's like the bad guy somehow. And so, of course, he's not, you can't make him a psychopathic murderer. Tornado observance. So the only option you got there is that he stole their idea for the thing. And then he's got his crew. And of course, all their vehicles are better financed and they're all black. So it's like the white knights with the good guys with the white armor and the bad guys with black armor, and the good cowboys all wear white and the bad cowboys all wear black, and you're just like, to watch tornadoes? What exactly do you do? You drive around in trucks and vans and cars, and then when you see a tornado, you pull out a camera and film it. How do you be a bad guy in that equation? And it never really works at all. There's a few fun moments where the two crews are like bumping into each other, but it's just like, seriously? Ow. This is the beginning. And so, as the film gets going, there's gonna be like 12 storms in a row that'll all have tornadoes, which is Michael fucking Crichton is pulling out his balls of pseudoscience, kind of knows what he's talking about, and flapping it on your face, and like, oh, Michael Crichton's writing on my face, his balls. And it's just like, so he's going to throw out all this verbiage about tornadoes, and just like Jurassic Park, he's then going to throw a bunch of shit at you that don't make no goddamn sense and is contrary to everything else he just got done saying. So, for example, what is a tornado? A tornado, and I forget which one it is, but it's a hot air stream and a low air stream colliding, and it's got to be hot air low, and then when hot air and cold air mix, it's going to cause that vortex action because the heat's going to rise. So instead of just two storms passing in the night, the two, I don't even know the words, but what I do know is that you're not going to have a tornado and in 20 minutes there's going to be 11 more. Like in the same day. Not over the course of a week or a month as they travel about the Midwest. Like if it was all the Midwest in a month, this might make sense to run into this many tornadoes. But it's like, I think it's 2 days technically or something. And it's just like, but by virtue of the fact that you had the first one, you now don't have enough energy in the system to have 11 more. And then, of course, but then another one happens. And it's got 2 funnels. And these things can happen, like every individual thing that happens. Like, this isn't all, and so it's Hollywood 101. You okay, we're going to make some computer bro. It's come up with a new technology that can make, I'm now Nicolas Cage, that can make tornadoes look really good on screen. And this cheesemo, Michael Crichton, who really doesn't know what he's talking about, and is writing a book. He's going to write this book about tornadoes. So I'm going to take this new software from 1996 and this science guy Crichton, he's a false intellectual, and put them together. And so we need to know everything there is about tornadoes and put it all into this hour-and-a-half long movie tethered to this love triangle. And then there's the bad guys with black trucks, and you're just like, this isn't Mighty fucking Ducks, you fuck. But, so, if you were to take all the storm chasers and all the tornado watchers and all the scientists in all time, and you were to say, what's the craziest fucking thing you ever saw, man? And it'd be like, I got a story that'll blow your mind. It happened in 73. I was there. I'm plugging in my laptop so it doesn't run out of juice. You're not going to believe this story, man. And then you talk to everybody who's ever seen a tornado in their life, and this is every single story they had. But instead of happening to the whole country and the entire tornado chasing community over the course of 1,100 years, it's all going to happen in one day. Whereas if you actually do this, you're born out of your fucking mind. Unless you really got a hat on from tornadoes, you're not actually gonna see this all this shit happening at once. And that's only the beginnings of your problems. So as the film goes along, a bunch of chowderhead bullshit happens, and I don't care. But what pisses me off to no end is that a movie that's supposed to be like based in science and Michael Crichton, it got the Hollywood anal fisting not pleasantness ever. So there's scene, and I'm just gonna talk about the end. Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt are running from a tornado, as if that's gonna do you any good. And then they're standing next to like a shed, and they're running through a field to get away from the tornado, and like a combine or like a tractor goes flying by and just misses them. And me not having cottage cheese in front up here, I was like, shouldn't they go flying long before the tractor did? Shouldn't they be flying through the air? And so much larger, much heavier objects are getting whipped around all over the place that they're standing right next to. But because they're principal characters in a Hollywood movie, they're not even wet. And then at one point, the tornado goes over the top of them. They're in the tornado, but they're okay because they took some belts, leather belts that were found in this little shack, and tied them to themselves. And it's like, okay, I'll play ball. Beans and grapes, what jokes and japes I'll play. So that thing holds you nice and snug enough that the tornado doesn't suck you into the air. Bang. Bang. Well, why weren't your legs ripped off? Like, come on, man. They're inside of a tornado, and it's not like, and then they're looking up, it's so glorious. It's like, how can you see anything? And you're like, I love you more. How can you hear that person? There's a tornado. You could be 500 yards away, and you're going to get ripped to pieces by debris. That's like standing next to like 80 or 50 hand grenades going off. There's so much shrapnel flying through the air, which they just established 10 seconds ago when they're at their barn, and there's like, shit flying through there and smashing into the, oh, we got to get out of there. And then they go running away, and then shrapnel's on a thing anymore because physics are like, not in this movie. And they go into the even smaller, less safe shed, and it gets ripped away, but not their extremities. You know what I mean? It's like you got to see it. You have to see it to hate it to the extent that you love it. It is so mentally retarded. It is just awful. And then there's one scene where there's a tornado at night, and I'm like, don't you know how these work? Don't you know? Don't you know what a tornado? You're making a movie about tornadoes, but you don't know what a tornado is. You can't. They don't happen. I'm sure there's been tornadoes at night. Man, I'm pretty damn sure, but it's really rare. Like again, it's hot and cold coming together at high velocities. That's what a tornado is. Is the cold and the heat, and it does this when it hits each other, and this heat rises to get the tornado. I could be wrong. Leave a comment in the comment section. Why do you don't know about tornadoes? And I need to. I know that if you're 13 yards away from a tornado, you're gonna die. So one of the first or the first tornado, this joke where a cow gets picked up by a tornado, goes wee, and then it's actually pretty clever. Somebody's like, that was two cows, and now he's like, no, I think that was the first cow. Okay. So then when the cow is like 500 yards away from the tornado, it gets picked up and pulled into the tornado. But when you can kiss the tornado with your dick, you're fine. And then so when all the tornado goes by, and they're like, oh, thank God. We saw the tornado through Paxton. They shit, as a scratch. You should be in parts and pieces all over the place. And he's got one scratch right here. This movie's awful. It is just, oh, oh, it is so horrible. And it was like, let's look at the numbers. Oh my God. I saw this and they showed it to me in a class, to us in a class when I was in middle school. And everybody else was like, the greatest thing that ever happened to me, man. And I was dying. I was laughing at how retarded this movie is. Let's see what it says. Oh, this is Wikipedia. The film opened on May 10th, 1996, and earned $41 million from 2,414 total theaters, making it the number one movie in North American box office. It went on to earn a total of $241 million in North American box office and earned a worldwide total of $494 million. It sits at number 76 of all-time North American box office charts worldwide. Worldwide, it sits at number 105 in the world of all time. Not adjusted for inflation, it was the second highest grossing film of 1996 after Independence Day, another shit, horrible movie. God, people love stupid. People just have a hard on for stupidity. And it just, why are movies shit? Because people can't, I want to talk to somebody who liked this movie. Somebody put me in touch with somebody who liked this movie and tell me, do you not see, like, did you just find a way to miraculously suspend your disbelief so much that you could sit through this and not vomit? Or do you actually think these things make sense? Because if you actually think these things make sense, that's why we have all the problems in the world that we have. That's why wars happen. That's why genocides happen. That's why there's ecological devastation. Because you people are that goddamn dumb. That you thought that people thought this was a good movie. Now, if you're going there to be like, dude, I just smoked a bowl and I'm drunk and shit, and I just want to see a cow fly through the air, I'll let that slide. It's a summer blockbuster movie. A lot of people, oh, everybody says it's great. I'll go see it. And then you're like walking out going, fuck. Doesn't matter. They already got their money. So that money doesn't necessarily mean that every single person that went to see this film loved it. But then I can't get anybody to watch Gattaca with me. And that's why everything. That is why everything that is bad in the universe happens. Because everybody will go see Independence Day, and everybody will go and see Twister, which are retarded, horrible movies, but I can't get anyone to go see Gattaca with me. What about Mind Walk? Anybody? It's just me. I have to go watch movies alone because nobody will watch them. Speaking of people like horrible movies, go watch my buddy Eric over at Hey Internet Eric here. He's a big fan of everything that's shit. I love you, buddy. Cheers.